Are you a busy professional who tracks expenses carefully, but still feels your money is reacting instead of moving toward what you actually want? Bills pop up, goals get pushed back, decisions feel short term. If that's you, this episode is for you. Here's the upgrade for you up front. We'll move from tracking to a professional grade budget, an architecture with a forward plan, clear rules, and simple lanes so that the budget runs the month, not the other way around. Doing your budget right will help you answer forward looking questions with confidence instead of guessing and pulling numbers from the air like, can we book that Japan trip in May without messing up tuition or savings? If we say yes to a car down payment this quarter, what exactly gets delayed? Our house fund, investing, or buffer? What should a mid year bonus do? Should we top up our buffers? Should we fund goals? Or should we invest? Where will August tuition actually come from? So here's the real question. If you're already tracking expenses, why doesn't it feel controlled? In this video, I'll show you three things. First, why tracking feels productive. Second, what budgeting really is, especially at your level. And third, what tracking only is quietly costing you, mentally, financially, and even at home. And the bigger idea is this. If you can apply strategy and operating discipline at work, planning, prioritizing, allocating resources, you can apply the same thinking to your personal finances. Your career is high performing, so your money system should be too. Now, quick checkpoint before we go deeper. If you're earning well, you've tried tracking, and you're tired of being reactive, that's exactly what we fix inside the Beacon Financial Mastery Program. You can book a free discovery call to consult with us if we're a fit. You'll find the link in the description or show notes. No pressure, okay? Just clarity on what a better money management system would look like for you. All right, let's get into it. Well, first, I'd like to discuss why tracking feels productive, but isn't really enough. Let's be fair. Tracking isn't useless. Tracking can be responsible. Tracking feels productive because it gives you data. It's reality facing. It's like you saying, I want visibility. But here's the core problem. Tracking is backward looking. It tells you what happened, but it doesn't design what should happen next. Think of it like your work life. If you manage a team or a project, you don't just stare at last month's activity report and say, okay, done. You ask forward looking questions like, what are we trying to achieve next? What's the plan? What are the priorities? What resources are assigned where? What rules prevent random decisions? Tracking is like the activity report. Budgeting is the strategy and operating plan. Now, for busy professionals, the issue is rarely not having enough income. The issue is more complexity and mental load. I mean, let's face it, you're dealing with having multiple accounts in multiple institutions, having a lot of seasonal or irregular expenses like tuition, weddings, family events, travel. You have annual payments like your insurance premiums, renewals, memberships, car registration, and maintenance. And a steady stream of small spending that adds up, like your Grab or Lazada deliveries, coffee, convenience spending, you name it. So if your system is only tracking, your brain becomes the system. You're constantly estimating and second guessing. Is this expense okay? Do we have room for this? What's coming next month that I haven't thought of? If we push through with this purchase, what goal takes a hit? That mental load is the real pain. So I have two quick tests for you. No spreadsheet required. Test number one is the payday test. When income arrives, do you proactively assign jobs to your money, meaning you decide in advance where it will go? Or does it sit mostly in one place, like your payroll account, and spending happens first, tracking happens later after the fact? If your pattern is spend, then track, then react, you'll always feel like you're catching up. Test number two, the surprise test. Think about the last 30 to 60 days. What were the top three things that made you go, oh, that was bigger than I expected? For many high income earners, it's not even a single luxury. It's usually a renewal you forgot was annual, like for your insurance or your condo dues or car maintenance. Or it could be one big month of family events like birthdays, weddings, travels, reunions. Or perhaps a repair or replacement like tires, your laptop, your phone, aircon. Or it could be a set of school related costs that hit together like enrollment, extracurricular activities, books, fees. If you had surprises, that's the clue. Tracking documented it, but it didn't protect you from it. I've had clients start with me already with beautiful spreadsheets, organized categories, charts, actual versus budgeted, everything. But when tuition season hits, annual premiums hit, repairs happen, the month still feels like it breaks. The spreadsheet isn't wrong. It's the system that's incomplete. Because tracking is record keeping, it's not cash flow control. So I'd like to discuss what a budget really is, especially for busy, high performing people like you. Now let's define this clearly. Tracking, on the one hand, asks, where did my money go? Budgeting, on the other hand, asks, where will my money go? And what are the rules? And here's the reframe I want you to keep. Budgeting is not restriction. Budgeting is architecture. It's designing lanes so your money stops blending into one messy pool. Most people hate budgeting because they think budgeting means that everything is forbidden, everything is sacrificed. But professional budgeting isn't about punishment. It's about reducing decision fatigue. It answers, what is this money for, before you spend it? So you're not negotiating with yourself every single week. Here are the 3 questions that expose whether you have a true budget or you only have tracking. First, do you know your safe monthly spending level for flexible categories without guilt, like dining, convenience spending, shopping? What's safe and what's not? Not, I hope, a number you can trust. Second, do you know the next 3 big hits in the next 90 days and exactly where the money will come from? Not, I'll figure it out when I get there, or at least I make a high enough income to cover all of that. What I mean is, what lane, what category, what funding plan do you have for those 3 big hits? Third, before you spend on convenience, do you know what your money is already funding? Goals, perhaps, big expenses, buffers? If any answer to these 3 questions is, I'm not sure or I don't know, then listen carefully. That's not a discipline issue. That's not, you need to track harder. No, that's a system gap. And when high-performing people have a system gap, the fix isn't motivation, the fix is design. Because at work, you don't solve a strategy problem by monitoring harder, right? You solve it by designing a plan, a system, and defining operating rules. Money is the same. Quick optional tool, very short. If you want to free up cash flow on your budget without changing your lifestyle, download our Insurance Audit Playbook. Insurance is one of those fixed costs that often becomes bloated over time, especially when you accumulate policies across different life stages. Any savings you find gives your budget more breathing room. Link is on the description or show notes. All right, back to budgeting. Next, let's tackle the cost of staying in tracking-only mode. You see, the cost isn't just numbers. For one, there's the emotional cost, the mental load, and decision fatigue. You see, when you're tracking, you don't have a forward plan you can trust. So your mind becomes the planning department. You're constantly thinking and second guessing, is this okay? Will we regret this later? What's coming next? What's the trade-off? And that's exhausting, especially if you already use a lot of mental energy at work. But second, there's also the financial cost. There's drift and delayed goals. When there's no forward plan, savings becomes whatever is left after expenses. Goals become vague. So what happens is quiet drift. Your goals get funded inconsistently. Your money tends to sit idle because you're not sure what it's for. You keep paying fixed expenses you haven't optimized. And you say yes to small decisions that compound into delayed progress. You can earn well and still build wealth slowly simply because your money is not being directed. But third, there's also a relational cost, friction at home. Not because you guys are struggling, but because the system is unclear. So decisions feel risky. Like, are we okay? Or why does it feel like we're always adjusting? Why didn't we plan for this? The argument becomes rarely about the purchase itself. It's about feeling uncertain. So which cost is most true for you right now? Mental load? Delayed goals? Friction at home? Write one sentence. Tracking only is costing me fill in the blank. That's your real reason to upgrade. So let's look at what professional level budgeting looks like. Now, stop imagining budgeting as a spreadsheet. Think of it as an operating system with 4 components. First, you'll have a 12-month view, not just a monthly view, so that life doesn't ambush you. We'll tackle that in video 2 of this series. Second, account structure. You see, money needs to be given lanes so that you're organized and you don't spill over into other lanes. That's video 3 of this series. Third, You have rules or logic so that flexible spending behaves without you micromanaging every single receipt. That's also in video 3. Fourth, rhythm. You have scheduled reviews and transfers so that the system runs even when you're busy. That's video 4. This series isn't all about random tips. No, it's a system build for your budget. So if you want one small move today, well, list 5 irregular expenses coming in the next 90 to 180 days. Things like insurance renewals, tuition spikes, travel, annual fees perhaps, maintenance, whatever is real in your life. Pick one and make a simple rule. We fund this monthly starting now. That one decision reduces future stress more than tracking another 100 transactions. Now let me give you a clean win you can do today in about 15 minutes, and you don't need to install any new apps. First, choose 2 money move days, for example, like payday or mid-month, month end. Number 2, list 3 to 5 upcoming big expenses in the next 90 days. 3, set one monthly allowance number for your most inconsistent category, like what you'll contribute to build it up in a month. Fourth, add one sinking fund line, like what account it will go to, with a starter amount. And finally, fifth, block a 15-minute weekly review on your calendar. Now, this isn't about perfect tracking. It's about running a simple, workable system. If you're earning well and you're tired of being reactive, the next step is simple. Book a free discovery call with us. You'll find the link in the description or show notes. Inside the Beacon Financial Mastery Program, we'll help you design the budgeting system around your real income pattern, responsibilities, and priorities so that it stops being guesswork. We won't just give you a template, but a system you can actually run. If you want that quick check on one of the most significant fixed costs on your budgets, insurance, our insurance audit playbook is also linked below. And next week, we build the next layer, the 12-month zero-based budget. And we'll look at why monthly budgeting fails and how to finally see your cash flow calmly. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, check the description or show notes for the Cluster 3 playlist so you can binge the full system. I'm Juan Casas from Beacon Wealth Advisory, and I'll see you in the next episode.